pressure on himself, Keith. Going into his semifinal bout when he upset Julio Quintana, the Cuban, Darin Allen said, if I don't beat this Cuban, I'll go live in Cuba for 30 days. And when he got to the press conference after the fight, they said, well, what are you going to do if you don't beat East Germany? He says, I'll live in East Germany for 60 days. He has been shooting off his mouth, and now he's going to have to produce. He's going to have to come in here and beat a very tough customer.
Okay. Maske is considered by all the Europeans as the best over there at 165 pounds middleweight. So here we go with round number 1. This could be a crackling good one. Darin Allen out of Columbus, Ohio. And here comes the Thai referee now. He's going to be very much a part of this, I expect. We saw the East German referee in our first bout today, and I thought he went out of his way to ignore the fighters, but this one, I think we might see a little more activity from him.
But that Australian referee in the second fight warned the Cuban Candelario Dubergel in the third round. At that point was decisive in giving Kenneth Gould the world championship.
I think you're right. I think it absolutely cost the Cuban the title. In and out for Darin Allen now. He wants to work to the body against the left-hander Maske. Maske is going to have that right hand in his face all the time because he's got it out there. And as long as he has a little bit of pressure on it, some body movement behind it, and he plants those white knuckles on you, counts point.
Maske is really the pure amateur style. Doesn't throw the left hand much. Just saw him cross with it there, but really just wants to lay the white portion of that right glove on his man as many times as possible. He is in tremendous condition, stands between both rounds, and Darin, who's had a tendency, has good first round, tendency to tire in the second, will have to be in the condition of his life to stay in this fight.
Coming up on the halfway point now of round number 1. Darin Allen had a 5-0 decision over Julio Quintana of Cuba, but it was a more demanding fight, I think, than that score might indicate, because Allen sagged a bit in the second round, and he really had to come hard in the third round to win it. And one of the things I've noticed about Darin Allen, who is our national champion at this weight for 1986, he oftentimes is very slick in the opening round, will tend to ease up a tad in the second round, and then come strong for the third. Both corners are cautioned about coaching because you are not allowed under international rules to coach out of the corner. They'll throw you out.
John Russell out of Columbus, Ohio. Darryl comes out of the same gym and program that produced Jerry Pays, the light welterweight gold medalist in the Los Angeles Olympic Games.
United States had 5 out of 6 of their contenders get into the final round. Loren Ross will fight for the 178 title light heavyweight championship tomorrow, and that's a fight we hope we'll be able to bring you later on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Loren Ross out of the Army in Fort Hood, Texas.
Good 2 punches by Darin Allen there.
As we already told you, the other 2 Americans have won their fights today. So the young American team doing a lot better than a lot of people expected.
And they beat Cubans in doing it, Keith.
Cubans, right. Well, Michael Bent was upset by Vanderlei of Holland, and it was probably the most stunning upset of the entire tournament. Otherwise, he would have been in against Savon of Cuba, and I think Michael probably could have handled Savon. But lo and behold, he got in there against that big rangy Dutchman in the semis and got beat. But right now, Darin Allen is going against another big rangy, this time middleweight from East Germany. Growing boys, as we said earlier, they're a very young team for the United States, fighting tested, proven veterans from other countries, and Darin Allen has this comment.
Well, we're definitely fighting amateurs that are, you can consider them pros, really. Professionals fighting amateurs. Yeah. Alexander Gupkin, for example. Michael Bent beat him. I can say Alexander Gupkin, a professional. He's fought Tyrell Biggs, Marvis Frazier, and he's still fighting amateur. In a way, it's at a... they have the advantage in a way, but in a way they don't, because I feel that over the years, amateur boxing can catch up with if you stay around, stick in it too long. So, Philio Stevens, another one. You have the heavyweight now that we think can beat him.
Come on, man. Come on.
Well, good jabs, good jabs. There's the one plus, the one obvious plus, Alex, is the fact that our kids seem to come in a little tougher for the Olympics as a result of the heavy schedule of international competition. But right here, I think Darin Allen, wearing the red headgear on the left of your picture there, I think he's got to jazz it up a tad here and get a little more aggressive against a man who is ranked #1 in the world by the International Boxing Federation, Henry Maske.
You'll see Maske use that left glove there, pawing at his nose. It almost looks like he's hurt his nose or broken it or something, and he's bothering him. That is not the case. That's just a nervous habit he has. He's had it all through his career, at least since '85, since I first saw him.
Neither fighter has really assumed any particular posture so far. Neither man has been able to step in and set off a flurry that would perhaps give him an edge. The right-hand lead, I think, of Darin Allen that he's trying to effect here may be the right technique, but Maske is able to pick it off. It seems each time before he lets it go. There's one that got through. Allen nailed him with that right hand, the best punch of the fight. We've got a computer with Roderick Robertson of Great Britain counting the blows, in his view, accredited AIBA official, and feed them into the computer. And we'll see what the computer's spitting out for us here in a minute. Unofficial, of course, because the fights literally and actually are scored by 5 judges. And the 5 judges for this fight, there's your punch stat count. You agree, Alex?
It's difficult for me to announce and count punches, Keith, at the same time. I can only get a sense of the round, and my sense of the round is that it's even, as I thought the first one was.
Of course, I'm all for having a scoreboard. I think the score should be put up after each round. All for it. Always have been.
I'll debate you on it.
I know. A lot of people feel that way, but it's the only sport of any consequence in the world that doesn't offer a score.
Neither fighter has really established dominance at this stage of the fight. A lot of holding, a lot of clinching, and not a lot of clean blows scored, as you saw from Robertson's punch stat, which had only 13 blows at that point thus far at that point in the second round.
I'm a little surprised at the right hand of Darin Allen. Now, it's almost a pawing sort of a right hand that he's throwing in there today. And I thought against Quintana yesterday in the semifinals, it was a much straighter and much more precise right hand.
It was a decisive punch yesterday, Keith. The difference is that Quintana was much easier to hit. Maske just covers much better.
Oh,
he got it in there then.
He did. End of round number 2, middleweight.
The horse, one of the world's most powerful domesticated animals. Now this small pickup, the tough 86 Ford Ranger STX, has harnessed unbeaten horsepower in a small pickup. Now Ranger has 140 horses under its...
Middleweights Darin Allen of Columbus, Ohio, the United States, and Henry Maske of East Germany. They fought their semifinal bouts yesterday. Good, tough fights in both instances. They're fighting for the gold medal today. They don't give them a day of rest. A lot of the coaches feel that's unfair. Now, this of the fighters feel it's unfair. And I suspect probably if you get into a 10-day tournament like this, you find, Alex, most of the best action comes in the quarters because they're more rested.
And you also find that the teams that have do a lot of work on conditioning, like the East Germans, do tend to have an advantage, do perform better than maybe their skills would indicate in a tournament, a long, grueling tournament like this. Maske disdains the stool in between rounds.
Darin Allen, who was successful with the right-hand lead in the second round, is coming back with it here in the third. Henry Maske is ranked number 1 in the world by AIBA, the International Boxing Federation, at 165.
Keith, I just think this fight is very, very close. Every time you look to see a pattern, there just isn't any. Both fighters scoring occasionally, neither fighter establishing any dominance. Maske has not been able to hit Allen with his right jab as often as he's used to, and Darin hasn't been able to hit Maske with his right hand as often as he's used to.
The judges are from Canada, France, Tunisia, New Zealand, Venezuela. Both stiffening now, showing some fatigue. And we've got just over 40 seconds to go in the fight. The Americans won 2 gold medals. Darin Allen trying to win 3. Alex Garcia going against Teofilo Stevenson for 4. Lauren Ross for 5 tomorrow at light heavyweight. Closing flurry could be very important in this fight.
I'm still looking for the winner. I'm still waiting for some fighter, one of the boxers, to establish dominance. Allen looked over at the referee, felt there was some foul.
Looked like that for a moment there that Maske was trying to throttle him as he bent him over the rope, but the Thai referee rescued Allen just in time and the fight is over. I wouldn't want to call this, but it's that close. For the gold medal at 165 pounds middleweights World Amateur Boxing Championships.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches.
4-1 in the red corner.
It's Darin Allen. He went flying up into the sky, and the Thai referee is coming over it and grabbing him. Says, come back here in the center of the ring and do it the international way. You have to raise your hand. Darin Allen winning the gold medal, and I expect he may be just as happy because he won't have to live up to the threat to live in East Germany for 60 days.